Recently at the North American Fish and Wildlife Conference, state fish and wildlife directors from throughout the country unanimously approved what was called the Anglers R3 Task Force report. R3 standing for recruitment, retention, and reactivation. This was a report that the executive committee asked for, and what they wanted to know is what are state agencies doing to grow boating and angling, and also, what recommendations could be made to enhance that effort. So the task force was comprised of state fish and wildlife directors, representatives from the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation, and the American Sport Fishing Association. And they came up with 5 key recommendations. The first of which was that states really need to develop an Angler R3 plan. What are you trying to do? How are you trying to get there? The second was to commit the resources to do the plan. What good is a plan if you don't put time, money, and people into it? The third was let's create a manager to oversee the plan. Just like states have deer project managers, you need somebody overseeing the R3 effort. The fourth was to commit to customer service. States don't often do that very well, but we all know today's customers want it fast, they want it personalized, they want to interact with people. You need to collect those emails. And then the fifth recommendation was that we need to create a national repository of what's being done out there, both things that are working and things that don't work. And that way states can replicate the good work, but avoid the things that we know didn't work. I think one of the biggest implications is that when we did the evaluation, states are doing an awful lot of good work out there, trying to grow participation in the sport. In 2016 alone, 24,000 individual programs, to get people interested in angling and boating. But what we found was that most of that was on the recruitment end, which it's very difficult to create a new angler. But states have an easy opportunity to retain and reactivate those that already fish and boat. So this will help them focus on where they can have the greatest impact on the number of people that are participating in a really great outdoor activity. R3 is starting to be recognized by almost every state as something they need to focus attention on, and this is absolutely a turning point for those agencies. In a very succinct report, it helps show them what they need to do, where they need to focus efforts, the tools are out there and available to help them. The Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation, American Sport Fishing Association, we're all poised to get in there and help them develop the plans, implement them, and act on what they need to do to grow participation in the sport. So as I look at the landscape around the country of R3, I think we're on the verge of some really big changes. More than half of the states are already committed to R3, and as we see success in the programs they're offering, this is just going to continue to grow. But I think the important thing to recognize, and states are finally recognizing it, if you think about it, 100 years ago, fish and wildlife in this country was in dire straits. And how do we fix it? We hired a whole army of trained fish and wildlife professionals, well educated, that knew how to manage deer, trout, you name the fish species, they could manage it. But to solve this problem, we're going to need a whole nother army of people in fish and wildlife management. These are your communicators, these are the marketers, these are the people that understand the modern techniques to reach out to folks. And states are starting to recognize that, and I think in the next 5 years you're going to see a whole new army of communications professionals for state fish and wildlife agencies. Well, the motions that were passed and states that implement the programs and prototype programs that are outlined in that plan dovetail beautifully with what RBFF is trying to accomplish. As you know, fishing is one of the most popular forms of outdoor recreation in the country. Almost 49 million people fish throughout the country, and RBFF has set a goal of trying to hit 60 million anglers in the next 60 months. And now that states have a strategy or put a strategy in place, it'll align with all of the efforts that we're doing on marketing. They can focus on retention and reactivation, and I'm confident that we're going to hit that 60 million angler mark.